On the night of November 16th, units of the Ukrainian Defense Forces struck the facilities of the Novokuybishevsk oil refinery in Russia's Samara region. The strike on the refinery was confirmed by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. According to the agency, the plant processes about 9 million tons of oil annually. The enterprise produces more than 20 types of commercial products. In particular, the Novokuybishevsk refinery supplies the Russian occupation army with top-grade fuel for jet engines. The strike on the refinery was carried out by the UAV units of the Ukrainian armed forces.
Explosions and a fire were reported in the target area. The extent of the damage is being clarified. In addition, a UAV storage base belonging to the Rubicon unit and a fuel and lubricants pumping station in the temporarily occupied territory of Donetsk region were hit.
Meanwhile, the results of the massive attack on Novorossiysk on November 14th have become known. According to satellite images, drones from the Special Operations Center Alpha of the Security Service of Ukraine destroyed 4 S-400 surface-to-air missile system launchers. As reported by the Telegram channel Operative AFU, citing a source in the SPU, they were located on the grounds of the Kuban Red Banner Regiment's military unit. In addition, 2 enemy radars were hit.
In total, approximately 12 S-400 Triumph air defense missile system launchers were stationed on the grounds of the military unit. There is a high probability that they were also damaged as a result of the attack.
On the evening of November 15th, loud explosions rocked Volgograd. As is known, there is an oil refinery located in the city. The governor of the Volgograd region, Andrei Bocharov, reported on repelling the drone attack. According to him, 3 people were injured. The temporarily occupied Crimea was also attacked. According to the Telegram channel Crimean Wind, explosions were heard near Sevastopol, in the area of the Saki airfield in Novofedorivka and in Simferopol. Earlier, it became known that after a Ukrainian drone attack, the Saratov oil refinery on the Volga stopped its primary oil processing. This was reported by Reuters, citing sources. It is noted that the facility may remain out of operation until the end of the month. The successful strikes on the Saratov oil refinery were carried out by Ukrainian forces on November 11th. According to the publication,
sources reported that the strikes may have damaged the plant's only primary processing unit. Its nominal daily capacity is about 20,000 metric tons, or 147,000 barrels of oil.
The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine also clarified the results of the strike on the Ryazan oil refinery on November 15th. According to the agency, 2 oil processing units, a petroleum product storage tank, and a pipeline trestle were damaged at the facility.
Last night, Russia was attacked by drones, with explosions occurring in several regions at once. In Volgograd, unmanned aerial vehicles reportedly struck the Lukoil oil refinery. Videos of the fires and the local air defense in action are being shared online. The oil refinery in Volgograd has come under attack for the 2nd time in the past 10 days. Local authorities have confirmed a fire on the premises of the facility. There were also explosions at night in the Samara region. Drones were spotted over the Novokuybishevsk oil refinery. The enemy Ministry of Defense reports that they allegedly shot down 57 drones overnight over the Volgograd, Saratov, Rostov, Kursk and Bryansk regions. Meanwhile, specialists from the Security Service of Ukraine reported that drones from the Alpha Special Unit destroyed 4 S-400 launchers and 2 radars in Novorossiysk. The attack took place on Thursday night into Friday. Earlier, it was reported that 1 air defense system had been hit. The destroyed launchers were located on the territory of a Kuban military unit. In total, there were 12 S-400 systems stationed there, and according to the Security Service of Ukraine, there is a high probability that they were also damaged. Volodymyr Zelensky is on a visit to Greece. For security reasons, the full itinerary of the trip is not being disclosed. It is known that the president will hold meetings with his Greek counterpart, as well as with the prime minister and the speaker of the local parliament. Media report that during his visit to Athens, Volodymyr Zelensky will negotiate the transfer of 2 Patriot batteries and 12 Mirage fighter jets, as well as energy cooperation.
And about financing gas imports. And we will cover almost 2 billion euros needed for gas imports to compensate for the loss of Ukrainian production due to Russian strikes. The government of Ukraine has allocated funds to finance the imports. Our European partners are helping, as well as European banks under the guarantee of the European Commission, and Ukrainian banks are also providing assistance. And
The visit of the Ukrainian president to France is already scheduled for tomorrow. The meeting with Emmanuel Macron was announced by the Élysée Palace. And on Tuesday, Volodymyr Zelensky is scheduled to visit Spain. This was reported by the country's Congress. France will increase pressure on Russia after the latest massive attack on Kyiv. This was reported by the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The ministry sharply condemned the strike, which resulted in deaths and injuries. The shelling of Kyiv was described by the country's foreign ministry as a further escalation and a clear sign that Russia is not ready for peace. Paris expressed full solidarity with the citizens of Ukraine and also extended condolences to the staff of the Azerbaijani embassy, which was also affected. During the attack,
is loud in Russia. Oil refineries and military facilities are on fire. In recent days, Ukrainian defense forces have struck several strategic targets at once, from ship bases in Novorossiysk to oil refineries in the Saratov and Ryazan regions. Fuel depots in Engels and military equipment warehouses in the temporarily occupied territories also went up in flames. Details in the report by Daniel Dayomin.
On the night of November 14th, Ukrainian Neptune missiles and strike drones hit the Novorossiysk ship base in the Krasnodar region. Key port infrastructure facilities and the Shekskary's oil terminal were struck. This is one of the largest oil pumping complexes in Russia.
An S-400 air defense missile system launcher, a missile storage facility, part of the port infrastructure and support facilities were damaged. Detonation and fire were recorded. The extent of the damage is being clarified.
In the fall, analysts confirmed that the territory of the military unit was hit. An anti-aircraft missile regiment of the Air Defense Division is based there. In addition, the occupiers also deployed S-300 and S-400 systems, as well as Panzer. The local authorities, who initially kept quiet about the strike, later declared a state of emergency.
Transneft halted the pumping of oil to Novorossiysk. The port temporarily suspended exports amounting to up to 2.2 million barrels per day. This is about 2% of the world's supply.
Drones struck the Saratov oil refinery, one of the main facilities supplying fuel to Russian troops. After the explosions, a massive fire broke out at the facility.
Explosions followed by fires were recorded on the premises. The facility is involved in supplying the Russian occupation army.
Another strike in the same region. It targeted the fuel storage infrastructure of the Crystal plant in the Engels area. Explosions rang out and a fire broke out. Plumes of smoke and flames could be seen from every corner of the city. On November 15th, drones attacked the Ryazan oil refinery. It produces about 840,000 tons of aviation fuel annually, including for the Russian aerospace forces. The explosions and fires were so powerful that local residents eagerly filmed the aftermath of the strikes.
According to updated reports on the refinery strike, the Ryazan facility was damaged at the ELU AVT 4 and 6 oil processing units, a petroleum storage tank, and a pipeline trestle.
Ukrainian drones also struck the Nebo-U radar station in temporarily occupied Crimea. A military train near Tokmak was also destroyed, and enemy personnel near Vovchansk were not spared either. On the night of November 16th, the defense forces struck Russian energy facilities in the Volgograd and Voronezh regions. Russia claimed to have shot down 36 drones, but at the same time was forced to restrict operations at least 11 airports.
During the night, several important targets related to Russian energy were hit on Russian territory, and Russian air defense shelled an apartment building in Volgograd.
The Novokuybishevsk oil refinery, one of the largest in Russia, was also on fire. It processes nearly 9 million tons of raw materials every year. This refinery is among the main producers of jet fuel for military aviation.
The enterprise supplies the Russian occupation army and is one of the main producers of top-grade fuel for jet engines. Explosions and a fire have been reported. The extent of the damage is being clarified.
In temporarily occupied Donetsk region, the defense forces struck a drone warehouse belonging to the Rubicon unit. That unit had been actively using UAVs against our positions. Ukrainian defense forces are systematically and purposefully striking oil refineries, logistics, fuel depots, and air defense systems. These are precisely the elements that keep the Russian war effort afloat. The losses over just the past 2 days are estimated at billions of dollars, from lost fuel and equipment to the suspension of oil exports through Novorossiysk. Danil Deyomin details Inter TV channel Marathon United News.